Happy Friday to you all.
It's Friday! Amen.
Okay, if you're in this country illegally, take heart. You may not be alone, and you may have an unlikely ally, the possible future First Lady. The cover story of today's Daily News claims there are questions about you-know-whose wife, Melania's immigration history. Yes, yes. And Sonny, a resident lawyer, knows all about it.
I do. I've been fascinated by this. Well, it's interesting because Melania has said several times that she's, she did all the right things. She's been in the country legally. She's now a U.S. citizen. She became a U.S. citizen a year after marrying Donald Trump, but that she had to go back to Slovenia after several months to make sure she got a stamp in her visa. Now, that is indicative of someone that doesn't have a visa that allows you to work here. It means that you have a visa as a visitor. That visa is called the B2 tourist visa. And so she apparently worked in 1995 in the United States by taking a photo shoot when she may have had just the B2 tourist visa, which means she was an undocumented worker.
But they said on her website that she was a college graduate, and she wasn't. They might have lied about that so that she could get this particular visa that she needed to get to pretend to work here, but not really.
Yeah, but she went, what, you go to Trump University in Slovenia?
Any way you look at it, this could be problematic any way you look at it, because her husband's platform is one against illegal immigration, and they have both discussed so many times that Melania's process was pure and it was legal. And
we don't know that it wasn't, though, Sonny. And you're a lawyer, and we should point out that this so far there hasn't been explicit proof that this is what happens, because Michael Wilde, who's the lawyer for Trump models and former lawyer for the Miss Universe organization, who is, by the way, a huge Hillary supporter and an ardent Democrat, he says that it's not clear that she was in the U.S. in 1995. She did nothing wrong. She never breached her visas. There's another legal expert who said nothing raises any red flags. And if she was here in 1995, there's no proof that she actually got paid for. This may have been an audition.
What about an audition of going back and forth to Slovenia to get stamped?
And she has said that.
She said that.
But that's a visitor's visa. That's not a work visa.
But we don't know if she got paid for this particular.
Your point is excellent. And I think because Trump wanted to see Obama's transcripts and because he wanted to see his birth certificate, Melania, I would like to see your immigration file. I would like to see key documents, Melania. Can you provide the View or me, as an attorney, your key documents?
I have to take issue with this because Melania is not equal to Donald, and Donald is equal more to the Obama story.
I would like Donald to provide.
Donald needs to show his tax returns. Melania is separate. I have to give Melania...
But Melania has now put herself into play by speaking at the RNC, by speaking openly about immigration. Melania, I would like to see your documentation.
It's really about, I do care less about, like, this is one of those instances where I say, whereas the Clintons are both free game because one's a former president, one's running for presidency. When it comes to the wives, I do think it's important to note
First Lady?
Because it is his
First Lady?
It is one of his stances, but I do agree with Joy that I would rather see his tax returns before I worry about Melania Trump's modeling gigs.
She is going to be the first lady.
The only reason it's important is because of the anti-immigration, anti-thing that he's into.
Well, and
it's like when the Republicans get caught committing adultery. They're the family values people, whereas when the Democrats get caught, they're not as hypocritical about it.
She broke the law.
Hypocrisy.
But no. The lawyer,
First Lady.
She did, but that's the thing. We don't know if she broke the law. And the lawyer said she modeled for an overseas publication, which is not a breach of immigration law. That's what he's saying, and this is a lawyer.
However, I actually spoke to the lawyer's boss that was quoted in that article last night.
You got that in there.
Sonny is a killer.
I like to shade responsibly. And the bottom line is that there are many, many questions. And if she worked as a model and any U.S. entity, or if she got any money, even if it wasn't cash, even if it was, wait a minute, even if it wasn't cash, even if it was just, let's say, living expenses, and she works for any U.S. entity, then it was illegal. And so Melania can put this all to rest.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with her. That's the least of his issues.
Exactly. He's got some bigger issues.
But I really enjoy it.
Okay, now...
It feels a little...
Okay, Libertarian candidate Gary Johnson is just a few percentage points away from earning a primetime slot in the debates. If we even have a debate, we'll see if Donald backs out of this too. But unlike Bill Clinton, this guy openly admits that he inhaled. Yes, he smoked marijuana and he...
Thank you, Raven.
He inhaled. So, Raven...
He's telling the truth. I am a fan of Gary Johnson. I think that he is awesome in his stances. He's pro-gay marriage. He's pro-choice, less military intervention for other countries, and he admits that he smokes marijuana. He admits it, and he said that he stopped smoking it now that he's running, and he will not smoke while president, but he's being real. deal? Come on now. Even my mama had to fess up that she did a little something back in the day to get through calculus. Yes, I called you out. So here's the deal. I would rather someone tell the truth about it. Just tell the truth. One, it's not, it needs to change, and it will change eventually. There's something else coming out. But he has 50% poll numbers, and they say they need to be raised for him to actually be in the debate. 50%. But here's what I have to say. His name is still on the ballot. If he doesn't get a chance to speak, there is a website that you can go to learn his policies and support him. Just because the news doesn't mean that you don't have to.
Yeah, and he's really drawing equally right now between Democrats and Republicans, which kind of goes to show his draw. But he's polling right around 10 to 12%. A lot of people are polling for him to get into that first presidential debate, which is September 26th.
He's closer to post.
He needs 15%. I say just let him audition, and if he doesn't get any sort of bump, then knock him out of the last two.
I find him extremely dull to watch.
Are you kidding me? He's a triathlete who's climbed the highest peaks of all the mountains in the world. Like, this guy is like a normal dude. And he also commonly says, I might be wrong. And one thing I appreciate about that is you've got two politicians that, both of them, regardless of who you side with, we're seeing people that are so coiffed or not coiffed and still not apologizing.
This guy is really coiffed.
But this guy is like someone that'll say occasionally, you know what, maybe I need to rethink that. That's human. Let me tell you what he said about Black Lives Matter. He said, what it does for me is that my head has been in the sand on this. I think we've all had our hands in the sand. Let's wake up. This discrimination does exist. It has existed. And for me personally, slap, slap, wake up. He said that. And no other, he's honest about it.
I know, but he could be a spoiler. And at this point, nobody's checking for Gary Johnson, okay?
I am.
Yeah,
but at least give him a chance. And
two words.
Ralph
Nader. Just remember Ralph Nader. What happened to this country? That's all I have to say.
That's my only concern.
Where you add him to a debate, though, I'm so tired of hearing.
But he has no chance. He really has no chance of winning. And so I do think, to Joy's point, he becomes a spoiler. So if he takes 12% away from, let's say, Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, you know,
can we at least have him come visit us here and talk? Yes, we should. And Jill Stein. I think it's very unfair that you say that. And again, I'm new to the whole politics of it all, but if I have a choice, I should be able to make whatever choice I choose to, not just to please a poll. I don't think that's fair.
Speaking of polls, Trump's poll numbers are in free fall right now. He's down double digits to Hillary, but there is some good news for Donald. He's still polling very well with the members of the Duck Dynasty group. Okay? Now, should he be worried? His numbers are bad right now. I don't trust those numbers, and I don't want anybody to think that you don't have to vote because you think that she's going to be a shoo-in. First of all, we've seen them go up and down over the past several months, as everybody has seen them, and I do not want these numbers to influence people's voting. Really, we need a landslide for Hillary. A landslide.
It's already looking like it's going to be a landslide because I mean, to me, but these are his lowest numbers since May. This is her largest lead, but it's interesting because if you really look at the five big polls out, like he's losing, but she's not getting as much of a bump because when you look at it, she still has high unfavorability.
She's leading him.
She's leading him, but you think that what he's losing, she would gain, but that's not necessarily what's happening.
She also gained amongst white males who are not college educated.
I think that's Tim Kaine. That's Tim Kaine.
Well, all right. So whoever got it, it's the same ticket.
That was significant, and I also think, though, that it's interesting. Was this a convention bump because the Democratic convention was so successful? Was it a convention bump, or is it because of all the things that Donald Trump said after the convention?
It might be the con thing. The other thing is it'd be interesting to see with these polls down, though, what he actually says in response to answer, because how many interviews did he do where everything would be going, well, what's your plan? Well, I'm killing in the polls. It's excellent polls. Like, it was always about the polls, so I'm interested to see what is he going to go for now, other than maybe systems rigged, systems really rigged.
He lives for those polls. He lives. The first time I met him at the Adele concert in Radio City, back in the day, back in, I don't know, what is it, October now? He said to me, this is when he was still speaking to me, and he said, can you believe those poll numbers? And you could see he was so pumped, you know? We got to take a break. We'll be right back with more Hot Topics.
Coming up, Mariah's about to rule reality TV. But is it really a desperate cry for help? So Joy had a question.
Is it sex addiction? A friend of mine, her husband always wants to have sex with her.
Why is that a bad thing?
They've been together for like 20-some-odd years.
That's amazing.
I always thought marriage was a cure for sex addiction, but what do I know?
What will they say next week on The View on ABC?
Welcome back. You know, another person with impressive poll numbers right now is Orlando Bloom, who was caught by paparazzi showing the full bloom on vacation. Okay? For a second, I thought it was an oar. Now, does Katy Perry have something to roar about?
Did you write that, Joy? Because that is so you. You never let up, did you?
You know, I don't want to talk about my personal beliefs.
You know, Katy Perry has a song called
Roar.
Yeah, but another one called Rise, like the sun.
Rise. Oh,
Yes.
that should...
I am so outraged.
Like the sun.
I'm outraged by this massive and huge breach of privacy. And I think we all should be.
She did that well, Joy.
Did I? Listen, I'm her tutor. She's learning to do stand-up comedy.
Am I getting better? Because I think I'm
no, you're
regressing.
Well, here and there.
Okay.
But here's a question: does it make people more? Would people be more upset if a woman was showing her, you know, full beauty?
Well, I can't speak to any legal terms like breach of privacy. That's why Sunny's here. But I feel like that part of a man is more for function than fashion. I don't think any of us should have to see that ever.
That's funny.
I too appreciate the female body, and if I was going to see something, I would actually prefer to see Katy Perry to him. Like,
Yeah. So you don't enjoy seeing the male body naked?
it's like a thumb.
You know,
all of you agree.
A big thumb.
Like
Totally, I can't say-
awkwardly placed thumb, and you're all thinking it.
I don't agree with that. I think that when you go to Italy and you see those statues that Michelangelo put
They're
together,
small, Joy. They're-
well, whatever they
Have
are,
you
the
seen
male
the
body
David
with the
one?
rib, you know, whether it's really a six-pack and
not what we're
everything.
looking at.
I know, but the whole thing is quite stunning.
I love a man's hands and their shoulders.
Yeah.
The awkwardly placed thumb does nothing.
It was. I mean, and people, I'm sure, now are going to Google the photo, and what was striking was the size of the shadow.
You don't need to use your hands on this,
size,
Candy.
yeah, the size of the shadow. But I was surprised that he was paddleboarding in the middle of Europe butt naked.
I'm not surprised about
like,
that.
It was butt naked, though. I mean, men, I
not
think,
surprised about
care
that.
about size and
He's proud of it.
appearance.
He's proud of
and
it.
so he must have been proud of it.
I don't know if it could have been, sure. My
Yeah.
take on it was that he was vacationing. He thought he was alone, and he has the right to wear clothes in that
She didn't
particular.
seem bothered at all,
And
Katie.
of course she's
Yeah,
not
it
going
was
to be
a
bothered.
public
Well, they
place,
also
though,
have
on
nude
water.
beaches in other countries. So he probably was able to. My problem is that people are putting his privacy out into the public. And there's a difference between a woman or a man taking a nude photo and somebody's trying to go on vacation and you're just putting them on blast like that.
But you don't have the right to privacy in a public place.
Well, they say celebrities don't have a right to
Maybe
privacy
that
at all.
was a little
Paparazzi was
perky.
creeping through the bushes to take it. And
Oh,
by
is
the
that-
way,
is that how it happened?
Yeah, Sarah, can we maybe say not a thumb? Like give guys a little more credit than a thumb?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I think that pretty much nailed it for me.
Maybe
How about a foot with no toes?
Nope.
maybe like the jolly. How about the Jolly Green Giant's thumb?
All right, let's move on. By the way, the picture was taken in Italy, a very Catholic country, not that far from the Vatican.
And it was a
And
little
where a
much.
lot of those beautiful contrapostal stances of humans and Venuses and men were created because back in the day only the religious factor bought art history.
No
It's the
one's
only reason.
surprised that he's paddleboarding completely nude, and Katy Perry had a bathing suit on. Like, why didn't he have like a little thong bathing suit on, or like a
He needed to
Trump?
tan everywhere.
Like a banana hammock?
He wanted to make sure there was no
something.
lines.
I mean, I
could have gone
paddleboard.
with that.
It's freaking hard to paddleboard, and he's completely nude.
You know, every once in a while you want to air Mr. Happy. That's all. Okay, let's talk about another great celebrity that I happen to think is brilliantly talented. John Travolta is apparently a yes man when it comes to his kids. His wife, Kelly Preston, says he's that dad who gives them whatever they want. Is he getting off the hook here and making her the bad cop when he becomes the good cop? And, you know, what do you think about that?
I think so. He was laughing specifically about giving his kid an ice cream sundae, and she's like, I have to deal with them when they're not going to sleep and they're,
He's on a sugar high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's always like a good cop, bad cop in a relationship, and it can really actually drive a wedge. I know I tend to be the bad cop, but one thing that I do regret, I do regret teaching my daughter who's 8. I said, now, if you really want something from your daddy, this is what you have to do. And I said, you sit on his lap and you put your arm around him
God.
and you bat your eyelashes and you tell him how much you love him. I instantly regretted it because she's using it all the time and he's like mush.
Why would you teach a girl to act like that?
Because I did it to my dad. I don't know. I just said, if you want your dad to do something for you, do that. Love on him a little bit.
I think you have to have a united front as parents. I mean, my husband and I made that agreement even before we had children, that when we had children, I wouldn't say yes, and I wouldn't say no, and he would say yes, and vice versa. And we've really stuck to that. The only time he broke it was recently when my son wanted to play football at school, and he asked me to sign the waiver, and I was like, absolutely not, no thank you. And he went to his father, and his father signed it. And the Hostin household was an unhappy place.
They haven't spoken since.
Yeah, it was
You know, I have to disagree with this idea.
front.
See, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in a united front. I think that you should have good cop, bad cop, because the child is lonely.
Were you the
Both
good
of you
cop?
are against me. I'm 5 years old. Give me somebody on my side. Yeah. No, I want both sides, and you can change it around. You don't have to always be the bad guy and then the good
What
guy.
were you?
You were the
I
good
had
cop.
My father ignored me. My mother didn't care what I did.
But But what were you to your daughter?
Oh, to my daughter, I was always I gave her everything. And my
That's
grandson
why you
too.
liked the good cop, bad cop, because you were the good guy.
My grandson, I say to him, he says, can I buy the so-and-so? I say, did Nana ever say no to you? He goes, no. So that's the end of the story. We'll be right back.
Are the ladies more likely to...
Welcome back. So there's a new trailer for Mariah Carey's upcoming docuseries that was just released, and it's sure to be a probing treatise on life's big questions. Not. It looks like a train wreck. Watch.
Is this a normal outfit for people to wear? I don't know, but I'm at home and this is what I wear.
Hi, how are you? It's Pamela. I'm calling for Mariah's team. My name is Pamela. I work for Mariah.
Now they always make up stories about like saying that I want puppies and things delivered. It'd be so cute to have puppies here. Come on, wouldn't that be cute?
Why does a girl who has, can't she sing in the 5th octave or something, they say?
Yes.
Why does a girl with that kind of talent have to do a reality show? She's not Teresa Giudice.
Why did Whitney Houston have to do a reality show? Why did Britney Spears have to do one? Paula Abdul or even Anna Nicole? Why
Money,
did they do them?
money. It has to be for
Does it
money
pay
and
well?
attention. It has to. There has to be a reason.
It raises your relevancy. It raises your overall amount of money and viewership, I'm sure.
But does she need the money? She's probably
She's getting ready to marry James Packer, who is a billionaire from Australia, so I don't think she needs the money.
why is she doing it?
Need the money is a relative term when it comes
Do you
to
think
that
she just
level.
misses the spotlight? I mean, she is Mariah Carey for the rest of her life.
Right.
But
Pretty relevant. I mean, she sold more than 200 million records worldwide. Best-selling music artist of all time. So I almost feel like it tarnishes the be in a reality show. I understand why the Kardashian clan did it because
Well, they got
that's
paid.
how she became famous.
Yeah, right.
But she's an icon.
But can we just enjoy it for what it is? She's with like just straight up lingerie on, saying, I am so excited to. I like the puppies part. I'm actually like. It's going to be so much better than Housewives or anything else. This is just going to be priceless.
Well, I love when she says the part about, because some people say I want puppies. Wouldn't it be amazing if there were puppies? Like, she pretty much just told us what we're going to see in December, and I will be tuning in.
And the fact that like each shot has a different filter on the face, like it's Instagram Live. It's just everything right now.
I have a theory as to why celebrities might want to do it, and I don't necessarily think it's for money, but I think they get typecast and they want to be seen in a looser light.
But she's going to continue to typecast herself. It's called Jiva.
No, but we've seen her as an artist and we've seen her as a performer. We haven't seen this funny side of her. We haven't necessarily seen
I don't know
her
if
as
she's
a
trying to
mom.
be funny, though. I think we're laughing at her.
Are you trying to say that?
Are we laughing with her or at her? And that's the thing. When you remember Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown's reality show, I mean,
that was
it was
tragic.
it was
It was
tragic to
Yeah.
watch.
It was.
And I wonder if this is
But you watched.
something like
But
that.
you watched.
You couldn't stop.
It was
Couldn't stop.
it was painful though. To
Yeah, but she
watch.
seems more lighthearted than
Yeah,
that.
this seems funny.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But my question is, does that tarnish her brand?
Well, Casey on Twitter said, depends on where they are at the hierarchy.
Of Hollywood. The
Hollywood, it devalues them at the top of their game, can spike popularity when they're down. She's
agree.
at the top, so I
She's
guess
at the
all
top.
you can do is
You're not
follow.
going to
She
see
just wants something to
Beyonce.
do.
You're not going to see Beyonce or Janet Jackson or any of these people do it. Why are you doing it? But at the same time, thank you for doing
Hashtag
it.
amazing.
Thank you.
You know,
so
sometimes I think that these big stars that you're referring to are lonely in a certain way, and this brings like something into their house. They have
Yeah, with
friends.
puppies.
The crew comes. There's puppies.
There'll
No,
be puppies.
It's like that. It's lonely at the top.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know, but
That's
some
why they
people
get
say
paid so much
that.
money.
It's lonely in the middle. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, ladies, let me answer a question. Do you think men or women are better at making up after a fight? Now, you can answer in a second. Let me just tell you that research says that men are. But the study was inspired by how chimps interact.
Wait,
So
That makes
all it
sense.
proves to me
Keep
is
going.
that chimps know how to make up with their wives. So who says I'm sorry? Which chimp in your house says I'm sorry first? I mean, it's a chimp study, but it applies to humans.
But there's also researchers examined the aftermath of same-sex sporting events and found that the men would actually spend longer time talking and touching the other party after they've been beaten. So, and then women didn't.
Touching?
You know.
What
You know,
chimp
like
sport
what's
was
up?
like good game.
Good game.
Chest bump. Smack each other on the butt.
There are two differences in this thing. So I think that whereas I'm very good at saying I'm sorry, it's a skill I've worked on.
Really? That's
I
very
am
good.
very good, but I don't cool down fast. So that's where Max is better at. He is faster to say, let's discuss, let's calmly use our words, maybe more than you're using right now. You know, like because I go colorful and I go hot, heated, and 0 to 60.
Really?
Colorful.
That's one way of putting it.
What about with girlfriends, Sarah?
Girlfriends, I never fight with my girlfriends.
No.
I fight with my sisters, but kind of
I
different,
will
right?
hold grudges. I held a grudge from a friend for about 7 years, but
7 years?
It runs in my family.
Wow.
It runs in my Hi, family. I got it from my grandma. Hi, Grandma.
Did you guys make up?
I swallowed and said, you know what? I'm going to say hi and I'm sorry for not talking to you for a long time. And I did, and she accepted me back into her life. But I do hold grudges, and it's hard for me to cool down. But like you, I can be like, you shouldn't talk to me right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to talk to
See,
you.
I'm not even that good.
Oh, no.
I chase him around. I just follow.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, no, I don't do that.
No, all of you know, you would think I would be different, but I don't like confrontation. And so I'm very quick to say, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, because I just don't want it in the house. I don't want that type of tension. But what's always interesting to me with my husband is he holds on to things for longer. He's got like the memory of a freaking elephant. He'll be like, remember in 1998 when you said, and I don't remember what I said last
me as
week.
the type who, if you were annoyed with him, you would read him his rights.
I know you would think that, but
She
I
throws
just
at a very low level.
She throws
She
plates.
throws plates.
You throw
yeah,
plates?
I've thrown plates, but I don't like the tension in the household.
Sorry, did I just call you out?
Did the plates help
No,
with that?
I threw plates early in the
Did
relationship.
that amp it or keep it calm?
No, I will break my own stuff. Like I won't break
No ideas here, Sarah. No
What's
ideas.
the worst thing you've thrown?
a plate.
A plate,
Me, didn't throw anything. I have done things.
but no throwing.
I've thrown.
What did you throw?
I threw a plaque. It was some award that I had actually won in high school. Yeah, at my brother. I threw it and I whipped it at his door. And to this day, there's a huge hole in where my brother's bedroom door used to be. I'm like, Mom and Dad, you could have fixed it.
You can't throw it at the other person. You've got to throw it on the ground.
Oh, I whipped it at
Your plates went on the ground.
Yeah, you got to throw it on the ground.
How
That's
about
very
this?
Greek of you. Don't they do that?
Oprah, yeah, it's celebratory.
I don't like to argue.
What about you?
I don't throw things because I'm afraid I'm going to break them, and then I'm going to stress out, and then we're going to think about that next. So I'm just waiting for an excuse to keep it up. So I don't throw stuff. I say mean things.
I'll wrestle.
You wrestle?
I'll wrestle.
Ray,
Oh my
go
gosh,
ahead.
that's fun. Yeah, it is fun. You know what else is fun? The fact that The View would like to thank Apple and Eve for providing our entire studio audience with a bottle of their juice. I love Apple.
Okay. And we'll be back with, I believe, Penn Jillette.
Yes.
See how skinny he got. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Penn Jillette. I'm here to tell you how I made
Well, you know, the chatty half of magical duo Penn and Teller shares the trick to his impressive weight loss in his new book, Presto, How I Made Over 100 Pounds Disappear and Other Magical Tales. Please welcome Penn Jillette. Look at you.
Look at me.
So skinny.
Look at me, yeah.
How many sizes? Just
Oh, I don't know sizes that much, but I was like 54 or something, and now I'm like 34. So lots.
That's great.
unbelievable.
I made those numbers up. So applauding from the seat guard. It's about that.
Okay. Now, you know, if you watch the show, we were talking about Gary Johnson,
Yes.
who is your choice
I
for
love
president.
it. I didn't feel your burn, but feel my Johnson. That's what I'm thinking.
Thank you, Orlando Bloom. Right.
So you're a libertarian.
I am a libertarian. As far right as you can go on money, and as far left as you can go on sex.
Okay.
All right.
Libertarian. Socially liberal and fiscally conservative.
But don't you see him as a spoiler?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's the way. I don't like to see politics as sports and our team and so on. I think there has to be a certain kind of morality underneath it. And I used to think that Hillary Clinton was bad, and that was before I saw Donald Trump. Now she looks pretty good.
That's right.
But all the same, he's a little more in line with my politics. But most important, I'd love to hear him have the conversation in front of the American people about what we could do with maybe a little more freedom.
And people are saying that he's more Bernie than anybody.
Well, they agree. You know, I was talking to Gary. I know him a little bit, and we were talking, and he took the online survey of who
The
you
I
agree
side
with the
with.
most.
Yeah, I side.
And what was really funny about it was, of course, top for Gary Johnson was Gary Johnson. But second was Bernie by like 97%.
Oh, my God.
It was very close.
See, that scares me because that means that he will take votes away from Hillary Clinton. And then we will have another George W. Bush in the White House.
What you are doing
with,
is,
you know,
but you are predicting the future as opposed to speaking from your heart.
You have
and
to
those
think
are two
about the
different,
future,
Those
Pam.
are two different valid ways to look at politics, but they're both valid.
But isn't
your
it-
way is valid, and so is the way of going with your heart.
But isn't it true he has really no shot at winning? And so even if he's polling at 10 or 12%, either Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump is going to win. And so if you vote for someone that has
Yes,
no chance of winning,
yes, but
isn't it a sense you're...
that's looking at it a little bit myopically, because in the very, very big picture, if you keep voting for the lesser of two evils, things will just keep getting more evil. That's game theory.
And isn't it...
Well, no, you you aren't.
She's
No, you
competent.
aren't.
Yeah.
You absolutely aren't. You are voting for someone in your conscience
And I
that you
believe
believe
in
is
her.
the best.
Yes.
And I should be allowed that too.
I should, and isn't it true, like, the more you...
No, you were not voting for Lester Karibas, but I would be. You're asking me to do what you were not doing.
All right.
Yeah, the more you see people voting for that other party or for someone outside of the establishment,
yeah.
the some two
It
parties,
makes
you can see that it makes a huge difference, and it gives the next group hope to vote the way they want to, not just because there's a Democratic or Republican party.
It should not be team sports. It should be a little more morality with it.
I want to ask you, speaking of morality, you actually have some personal interactions with Donald Trump. Besides being fired twice on Celebrity
No, I was not ever fired.
You were not fired?
It's an improvisational television show. He had no job to offer me. The showroom I could have played in, he took to bankruptcy.
Okay.
We were improvising on a show. We were not in a boardroom. We were on a set.
Hey.
The boardroom was less real than this room.
Okay, so you've had personal interactions with him. So
and I loved working with him.
Did you?
Yes.
But didn't he call you a goofball atheist on Twitter?
Yes, but I also said his hair looked like cotton candy made of pee. But that's part of doing reality television. As far as everybody who's on Celebrity Apprentice, I believe I'm the one who liked him the most. He's capricious, volatile, irresponsible, and unpredictable. Those are great qualities for reality television. Those are terrible qualities for a president.
Right.
I support him. I support him as a co-worker, but not politically. And oh, by the way, to be fair, there's no one I respect more in the world than my partner Teller. He is the best magic mind who's ever lived. He is completely responsible, and he's a wonderful performer. If he was running for president, I would do everything in my power to stop him. Just because someone's good at one thing does not mean they should be president.
That's right.
Let's move away from politics.
Yeah, let's move away from politics.
And let's talk about you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thinking.
Okay, let's talk about the book. Your heaviest was 334 pounds.
Yes, the heaviest I measured. I don't think we weigh ourselves.
Tall, though.
Yes, I'm 6'7", but I've lost no inches, just pounds.
Right.
And you said that you started your diet off, and it was very unconventional, and probably, would look down on some people in the nutrition world. But tell me what you did.
Well, it'll be less unconventional in a few years. The NASA scientist Ray Cronise and a bunch of people that worked on this will be publishing the real papers in about a year.
Oh.
I was part of the pilot study. But what you want to do is get out of eating food socially and for entertainment. Almost all of our eating is habitual. We eat from habit. The reason grilled cheese is a comfort food is because of the habit of that as a child. So I took 2 weeks. I was a very bad eater. I was also known as an American. And I took 2 weeks to do a mono diet. Now, mono diet just means you eat one thing so you get knocked out of the habits you've had. Now, it could have been corn, it could have been beans, could have been anything, but I chose potatoes because they're funnier. And I ate nothing but potatoes, and complete potatoes, for 2 weeks with nothing on them, just baked potatoes. And what that does is, at the end of that, your taste buds are reset. You get over the salt, sugar, and oil that you eat, and then you can taste food again. I will tell you, with a great deal of shame, I don't believe I ever tasted an ear of corn until I had done the 2 weeks, because I always slathered it with all sorts of stuff. It's almost like 3-chord rock and roll has been blaring in your head for 40 years. All of a sudden, you turn it down, and there's Miles Davis and Bach playing behind
like a reset button.
There's wonderful pictures of you before and after, because this actually works. This is, but you hear about this a lot of
the time. But I didn't do it for vanity. I didn't care. I was happy with how I looked. I did it because my children, I'm an old dad. My children were, my daughter was born when I was 50.
Tell them your daughter's name.
My daughter's name is Moxie Crime Fighter.
Moxie Crime.
And my son's name is Zoltan. But my daughter's only 11 and I'm 61.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, statistically I have a much better chance of spending a few more years with them if I eat more carefully. And isn't time with my children more important than chocolate?
Absolutely. You know what? You look great. You look great. Good luck. Thanks so much. Thanks to Penn Jillette, and his book Presto is in stores now, and everyone in the audience is going home with a copy. And be sure to catch Penn and Teller Cool Us Wednesday nights on CW. We'll be right back. After the show, for the few seconds we have left, Paula would like to say something nice to her husband.
Yes, I just want to say happy 40th, honey. Welcome to the 40s. But
he is having a hard time being 40.
Yes.
He's so little midlife crisis.
She has a crush on my husband.
I do. I have a husband crush on. Yeah.
Your husband's cute too.
I have a crush on her husband.
Can I just say hi to everybody in Montreal? I can't wait to see you.
Have a great day, everyone. Take a little